Hey there, everybody. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond, checking in with you all on a beautiful Saturday morning in my neck of the woods. I hope you all are doing well. We got through. Want to check in with you all real quick and talk about the fact that at the 11th and a half hour, government spending bill, got passed. President Biden will be signing it today, and Spirit told us the word, said that it was looking like a government shutdown was in fact about to happen. But if it did, that there was going to be an immediate back end of it, that it was going to be, okay, that there was going to be some sort of agreement reached. We saw that play out. In fact, thank goodness, right before within hours of an actual shutdown, which is great. Here's what I want to look at, you all, though. That was some really interesting dynamics that we saw happening. Let me back up for a minute, because I forget. Some people, I love those of you who are subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Please remember to hit that like button. It helps the algorithm so that my channel can continue to grow. I appreciate you so much for that. If you're new to the channel, I'm a tarot and oracle reader, but I am also a former newspaper journalist. So my approach to spiritual readings is kind of, I like to get into my facts. I like to do research, like to feel like I have a grasp on what's going on. And then I go to spirit for deeper insights. I will say, because I do get comments and I understand there are many people on the platform who do these types of readings, I am not necessarily trying to give you hard and fast predictions on what's going to happen. I'm not almighty or all powerful, God forbid, right? But I do have a knack. I do have a gift for being able to read people really well, read situations, something I used to do very much as in my research as an investigative reporter. So I try to use those skills with, I am an initiated priestess. I've gone through many levels of initiation. I'm ordained both in pagan and African and Afro-Caribbean traditions. So I got a lot going on, a lot of stuff on my plate, and I try to use that in, hopefully a productive and healing way to share on this platform with you all. That said, let's get to business. So Elania, let's use that. Elania is pissed to the height of pistoriety, because that whole stunt that he tried to pull to tank the deal, that the bipartisan deal that Dems and GOP House leaders had, or GOP House in general, had come to. Bill was about to hit the floor. Mike Johnson is walking around, Mike Moses Johnson walking around feeling his oats, his Cheerios, because he's done what he thought was a good job. Everything's going along. Boom, bottom falls out. And so the press has a field day and says, oh, wait a minute. So it's really about, Elania is the one in charge. Mickey D. I call him Mickey D because the affinity for Big Macs, and just because in the words of many people, including Kamala Harris, he's an unserious man at the end of the day, on a higher level, right? Unserious man, but serious consequences. And we see some serious things playing out. So I don't want to downplay that. Here we go. GOP members, many of them are hot. And we had TikTok blowing up. MAGA Republicans out there saying, we didn't vote for Elania. We voted for that other guy. We voted for Mickey D. So what is this? How is all of this happening? How is our future? TSA workers, remember the real things that were on the line. TSA workers, military, like people were not about to get paid. And they were like, no, we don't, this ain't happening. Spirit said that Mike Moses Johnson is out. And I think that still holds true, you all, but I think also symbolically, because even if he manages to retain his seat as a speaker, here's the deal. He's done. He has no respect from, clearly, Elania or Mickey D. He's always been a pawn, always just been, we're going to put you there to do our bidding. And that's what he's done. But he has also completely lost any respect, any sense of working together with those members of the GOP flanks in the House who thought, okay, we can work with you. They saw how quickly he will turn on a dime and do whatever Elania and Mickey D tell him to do. That is cost him tremendous political capital. And so one way or another, that man is out. All right. I want to take a look at what two things today. One, I saw some things, some whispers and shouts even being put out online around why did Kamala Harris cancel her trip to California for Christmas holiday to stay in Washington, D.C.? Is President Biden, is Joe Biden in decline? Is there something going on? We know he's supposed to sign that government spending bill today, but is there something going on? There have been many people who thought and have seen many predictions even made about the fact that one way or another Kamala Harris might be the 47th because something might happen with Joe Biden and she have to step in. Let's take a look at that today, and then on the back end, I want to look at this growing tension with Ilania, right? That this is going to turn as soon as that Mickey D is I'm getting like he's really not feeling it. He needs him. He needs that money. He owes him. He got bought by Ilania, but there's going to be some double crossing going, and sooner rather than later. First, let's take a look at President Biden. I have, oh wow, right off the bat, we've got the shadow, the devil. They call it the shadow in this deck, but it's 15, the devil. Let's take a look. Why is the devil here around President Biden? And if you're not familiar with tarot, the devil doesn't mean the devil, not the Christian devil. Devil has to do with, could be fears, could be in the 6 of Pentacles. So they call it flowers in this deck, the 6 of Pentacles. The devil has to do with attachments, unhealthy attachments. With the 6 of Pentacles, Joe Biden, President Biden, 8 of Wands, that's him about to sign that bill today. Giving people the opportunity, keeping government running, functioning. This is a give and take. You know, how things work. We put it, you spend, you get it in, keeping everything functioning. The King, they call it a crone in this deck, but this is the King of Pentacles. So keeping things on, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and call it, you all. I think Kamala Harris canceled that trip because of the crisis that was potentially looming around getting that bill spent, and to have government potentially shut down. She's on vacation vacationing with family in California. That was not going to happen. So this is that 11th hour save, Ace of Pentacles, or Ace of Flowers they're calling here. This is that 11th and a half hour save that happened. I think she came back. Spirit, did Kamala Harris come back because of the potential crisis, the government shutdown or looming? The Magician. All right. So I don't think this was about President Biden's health or some indication that she has to come in and be ready to step in for him. I think it was truly because of the Spirit is saying it was because of the dynamics that were happening at the time. That it was really looking more and more and more like there was not going to be a spending bill. Also remembering that she is the leading member of the Senate, and depending on what happened there, and we have the Chariot. Yeah, that's why she stopped. That's why she had to come back. It had more to do with what was happening in the government and the potential for that, and what could happen in the Senate. Which Schumer got that handled. It all got taken care of. But again, seconds ticking down on the clock, right? But you all, I'm not seeing anything that indicates, in 21, the world. She may, in fact, we may hear something later about her now that this has happened, that she will be able to go home for the holidays. So yes, I think the what we were starting to hear about is what we thought, that something, some sort of major decline with President Biden, and she might have to step in on his behalf. I don't see that happening at this time. We know how fast things are moving around. I'm not ruling it out in the future, but for right now, I think that's what happened. Now let's look at, Hakeem Jeffries. Let me. The Spirit is saying, I'm getting. They're saying, let's look at this another way. Hakeem Jeffries showed the diplomacy, the leadership, and the intelligence of how to deal with that situation. And in fact, he has enormous respect, in contrast to Mike Moses Johnson, who has no respect now with his colleagues in Congress. The respect and the belief and the encouragement and the coalescing, Spirit is giving me that word, the coalescing around Hakeem Jeffries in the House has grown exponentially in the wake of this crisis. This what happened this week. Will the GOP in Congress begin to work more closely? Certain members of the GOP work more closely with the Democrats, because that's what they're telling me. This is while the circus on this other end continues to play out. And again, the tensions between Elania, Mickey D, and Mike Moses Johnson, that is so fractured already. But there are those members they did not like. Thank you, Spirit. There is a seething anger behind the fact that Elania, for all of his wealth, would have the unmitigated gall to say, if you do this, I will primary you out of office. Remember, they got egos. They may not have the billions, but they got the egos. They did not like that. Will we see, Spirit, is there going to be more of a coalition? Two of swords, they call it blades in this deck. Two of swords, a coalition between House Republicans and Dems. Four of swords. So how do we do this? Because we don't want to get in trouble for doing it. And the two of cups. Notice that we have twos, partnerships. Two of blades, little confusion around it, and also not sure how to go about it. Can we really trust each other? Sometimes what's that saying? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So there could be that some conversations starting to be had. And I also get from this two of cups, you all, there is, whether they want to come out and say it out loud or not, there is some grudging respect that some of the GOP members in the House have now for Hakeem Jeffries and how he handled that as the leader of his caucus. Will there be more mutual cooperation now in the wake of what they saw happening? Six of Pentacles, you all. That's coming again in this reading. And I think in this context, that's a beautiful sign because, again, this is a card of give and take. It's a card of negotiation in this, topic. It's a card of negotiation. It's a card of, I do this, you do that, and together we can get something going. There is going to be, whether we see it out loud, and the Six of Wands. And I even love, look at that image on there with those arms crossed. There is going to be, this has tilted. I'm not trying to, Spirit is like, okay, Afefe, don't go too far with this. I'm not saying that all of a sudden everybody's going to become fast friends. None of that. But I am saying, Spirit is saying, this whole situation has got members of Congress, the House in particular, both GOP and Dems, looking at outside factions like Elania and saying, because of the influence over Mickey D, we have got to stop. We've got to figure out what we can do to stop this, because there is not going to be total capitulation to everything they're telling us, and they prove that now. And now that they've seen it's possible, thank you, Spirit. Now that they've seen it's possible, they're a little geeked up behind it. They're like, well, wait a minute, maybe there is a way to resist. You know, the Queen of Wands, there is a way to resist. There is a way to resist. There is a way to be victorious. You all, this started something. This started something. This started a shift in energy where the idea that the MAGA faction, or the MAGAification of Republicans in the House in particular, there's a wake-up call. Because regardless to how and we got the rebel of this is the knight, rebels of knights movement, the rebel of flowers, pentacles, knight of pentacles. It's going to be slow, it's going to be deliberate, but there are conversations that are going to be had. There's even if it's at a distance, there's some respect that has been gained, in particular for Hakeem Jeffries, and I'm speaking on behalf of the hard right in the House. Of course, the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, you know, that whole faction, never going to make any sense in any reality. But I'm talking about that more established or establishment oriented faction of the House. There's a groundswell, and it's still kind of under wraps, but keep your eyes. Spirit is saying there is going to be more cooperation, and just like we had that, what was it, 38 Republicans who refused to approve, you know, who helped stop the tracks of what Mickey D wanted, or more importantly, Elania, that there's more where that came from. That's what Spirit is saying. All right. Last thing, just as a, you know, just throwing this out there, check out, you all, there's this organization called the American Bridge. There is, for all of this pressure that's being handed down, big money, because of the tech billionaires. You know, we know now Bezos is trying to, you know, wiggle his way in. What's happening with Elania, blah, blah, blah. Zuckerberg, all of them. There's a groundswell happening, and this American Bridge is apparently some big Democratic donors who have planned in Palm Beach, Florida, no less, at the end of January, I think 31st through the 3rd. So this isn't no quick in and out meeting. This is like a function, like a convention composed of former Obama folk, Biden folk, nonprofits, philanthropists. This is big liberal democratic money coming together in Palm Beach, Florida, y'all. I kind of like that. I'm like, all right, brush your shoulders off, y'all. Go at ground zero, and they are going to have a big powwow around what can be done, how they can use and utilize their resources, super PACs, etc., to try and bolster the Dems. And you know, and if it's about the money, which we saw what money can do, you know, $250 million Elania doled out to prop up Mickey D. But there's this groundswell that's happening. There's this gathering that's happening. So keep your eyes on that. They're calling it the American Bridge. You can look it up. And let's keep our eyes on that. End of January, first couple of days of February. Let's see what comes out of that meeting. Let's learn more about who the players are in that meeting, who's going to come together, because there is money. There is a heck of a lot of money. That $1 billion, that was raised for Kamala Harris's campaign. Yeah, a lot of that was grassroots, you know, people sending in their $10, $20, $25, but there was also a lot of big money behind it. And we're going to see more of that. Spirit is saying there's if money is what it's going to take to start to shift this needle, then the tech billionaires are not the only ones that have money. They might have more, but money is money. If money's going to move the needle, then the needle can be moved in a couple of different directions. All right, you all, have a great weekend. I'm so happy. Your prayers, I feel like so many of you, your prayers, your thoughts to try and, the sympathy that people have had for TSA workers, military workers, others that were going to be impacted had the government shut down. I really think that played a lot into how this energy moved and shifted to get this to happen. So this is a good day. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye.